Hi there. It's September 12th and time for Proverbs 12. Let's jump over there. Now we're reading the 1599 Geneva Bible this month. And we have the NIV over here just in case the words get confusing. The 1599 Geneva Bible is the exact Bible and translation. It's the first Bible in English print long before the King James came around and added their spin to it. This is the Bible that our forefathers carried to America when they came here. It's the Bible that Thomas Jefferson and George Washington would have used. Interesting, huh? So, let's continue. We're on Proverbs 12 today. He that loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth correction is a fool, or says he's stupid. If you don't like to be corrected, you think you know it all, you're a fool, right? You can never know it all. I like to think every person on earth knows something that I don't know, right? Verse 2, a good man getteth favor of the Lord, but the man of wicked imaginations will he condemn, right? Good people obtain favor from the Lord, but he condemns those who devise wicked schemes, it says. Wicked imaginations. Weird, huh? Wicked imaginations. I'm going to highlight that just because that's interesting. Verse 3, a man cannot be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous shall not be moved. Right? No one can be established. They think they're established, but they always fall, right? And I like to read the notes because they're the actual notes from 1599. They are so grounded in the favor of God that their root shall prosper continually. Right? Shall not be moved. For a virtuous woman is the crown of her husband, but she that maketh him ashamed is as corruption in his bones. What's this note? Strong or painful? Corruption in his bones. A disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones. Right. The thoughts of the just are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceitful. Right. Do you have pure thoughts? That's something to think about, huh? The talking of the wicked is to lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the righteous will deliver them. And it says over here, the words of the wicked lie in wait for blood, but the speech of the upright rescues them. What's this note? As their conscience is upright, so shall they be able to speak for themselves against their accusers. You have a clear conscience, right? 7. God overthroweth the wicked, and they are not. But the house of the righteous shall stand. They are not. Like that. The wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous stands firm. Right? Getting the clue that you should be righteous and not wicked, right? 8. A man shall be condemned for his wisdom, but the forward of heart shall be despised. Commended. That's condemned. It's commended. Okay. Commended for his wisdom. But the forward of heart, perverse. Okay. That forward is perverse. Right? And over here it says a warped mind. This guy, warped mind. You know, some people with a warped mind, right? I can think of a few. And they always think they're smart and know everything, and you couldn't possibly be wrong. Yeah. Interesting. 9. He that is despised and is his own servant is better than he that boasteth himself and lacketh bread, and is his own servant. The poor man that is contemned and yet liveth of his own travail. That's weird, huh? Better to be a nobody and yet have a servant than pretend to be somebody and have no food. A lot of those out there today now, huh? They pretend they're somebody they're not. Mm-mm. This is interesting. I always wonder, but better to be a nobody and yet have a servant. Okay, and this actually says over here, he that is despised, or nobody, and is his own servant. The poor man is content yet liveth of his own travail. Right. So this, when it says has a servant, that's not really accurate. Okay. And this says is his own servant. I think that's better. Makes more sense. Somebody, look, it won't highlight it. Isn't that interesting? There you go. Is his own servant. That means somebody that takes care of themselves. Right? He is a nobody or despised and takes care of himself is better than he that boasteth himself and lacketh bread. Pretend to be somebody but have no food. There are people here out there today driving big cars and wearing fancy clothes and fancy hairdos, but they're getting their food from the church pantry kitchen, right? Pretending to be somebody they're not. Interesting stuff. Let's see, you learned that. I didn't learn this until 1599. This is our 13th time through this, and it realized that what this meant, because that always tripped me up, better to have nobody yet have a servant. He that is despised and is his own servant. This means somebody who better, if you're nobody and you are able to take care of yourself, than in pretending to be something you're not, but you have no food to eat. Right. That's a good one. Learned something today, huh? 10. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the mercies of the wicked are cruel. I always like this one. This mouse is giving me problems. I'm going to have to... Yeah, see? Mouse is not working right. It won't highlight that. That's terrible. There. Man. It's time to get rid of this mouse, huh? So, the righteous cares for the needs of their animals, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel. Right. I've always liked this verse. If you want to tell what kind of person somebody is, look at the way they treat animals. The lowliest creature, they can do nothing for them. And you'll tell what kind of person it is, okay? A person that is kind to animals is a righteous person you want to be around, okay? And animals know too. Animals can read people better than you think. They have an amazing power of discernment. Right? There's a saying of late that says, I don't trust a person that doesn't like a dog, but I will trust a dog that does not like a person. Okay? They know. They know. Important stuff. Okay, 11. He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that followeth the idle is destitute of understanding. Right. Those who work their land will have abundant food. Those who chase fantasies have no sense. Followeth the idle. What's this note? Oh, defense. Destitute of understanding. Defense. Followeth the idle. Right. 12. The wicked desireth the net of evils, but the root of the righteous giveth fruit. The wicked desire the stronghold of evildoers, but the root of the righteousness of the righteous endures. Continually imagineth means how to do harm to others. Evil people want more evil power, right? 13. The evil man is snared by wickedness of his lips, but the just shall come out of adversity. Right? Caught in his own lies. Evildoers are trapped by their sinful talk. See if we can highlight something here. Oh, that one worked. Right. No one to keep you know why it says keep your mouth shut? Right. We'll talk about that. 14. A man shall satiate with good things by the fruit of his mouth. Shall be satiate. Over here it says, from the fruit of their lips people are filled with good. A man shall be satiate with good things by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hand shall give unto him. Shall God give unto him. Brings them reward. The recompense of a man's hand shall God give to him. Do, right? That's interesting. Recompense of a man's hands. Shall we look that up? Recompense is a formal term that refers to something that is given to or done to thank or reward someone or to pay someone for loss or suffering. The reward of a man's hands shall God give to him. Interesting, huh? 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that heareth in counsel is wise. He standeth in his own conceit and condemneth of all others in respect of himself. Right. They always think they know everything and they're right and they're fools, right? The wise take advice. Do you take advice? You should. A fool in a day shall be known by his anger, but he that covereth shame is wise. Fools show their noise at once, but the prudent overlook an insult. That's which bridleth his affections. Right, covereth shame is wise. Overlook an insult or shame is wise. Just let it slide, right? Keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling, I'd say nowadays. 17. He that speaketh truth will show righteousness, but a false witness useth deceit. Lies. Right. Will show righteousness, an honest witness. 18. There is that speaketh words like the pricklings of a sword, but the tongue of wise men is health. There is that speaketh words like the pricklings of a sword, which seek nothing more than to provoke others to anger. Right. Words of the reckless pierce like swords. There is that speaketh words like the pricklings of a sword. People that just goad you on to anger. The tongue of the wise brings healing, is health. Right? Just get away from people like that. The lip of truth shall be stable forever, but a lying tongue varieth incontinently. Only lasts a moment. Truthful lips endure forever, but the lying tongue varieth incontinently. We last a moment. Always saying something different, right? 20. Deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil, but to the counselors of peace shall be joy. Right. Counselors of peace, those who promote peace, have joy. There shall none iniquity come to the just, but the wicked are full of evil. There shall none iniquity come to the just. Bad things won't happen to the good, right? No harm overtakes the righteous, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. There shall none iniquity come to the just. No harm comes to the just. Right. The lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight. Right? The Lord detests lying lips. Got that? 23. A wise man concealeth knowledge, but the heart of fools publish foolishness. Right. The prudent keep their knowledge to themselves, but a fool's heart blurts out his foolishness. Right. See, wise people are usually very quiet. They're observing. They're learning all the time. Right? If you ask them, they'll tell you, but they're not going to offer it. Because that would be bragging and prideful and boastful, and wise people are none of those things. Right? But a fool will gladly tell you about how foolish he is. Thinks he knows everything, and he's going to let you know. 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the idle shall be under tribute. Under tribute. Forced labor. Diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor. Right. Tribute. That's what tribute is. If you pay tribute, it means you're working for something, right? 25. Heaviness in the heart of man doth bring it down, but a good word rejoice it. That's a long way of saying anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. Okay? Heaviness in the heart of man doth bring it down. And there's a good word. That is, words of comfort or a cheerful mind, which is declared by his words. Rejoiceth a man as a covetous mind killeth him. Wow. That's long, huh? 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked will deceive them. That is more liberal, generous in giving, okay? The righteous is more generous than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked will deceive them. The righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. You know, this says choose their friends carefully. Okay? And this one says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. Meaning that is more liberal. Liberal here means generous, okay? It's not what liberal is today. Liberal, generous in giving. See, that says two different things to me. In the original, it says the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, is more generous, more giving than the next guy, but the way of the wicked will deceive them. Interesting. I'm not saying either one is wrong, but choose their friends carefully. More excellent. Seems to say two different things. This is saying is more excellent, meaning is more generous and giving than his neighbor. Interesting, huh? 27. The deceitful man roasteth not that he took in hunting, but the riches of the diligent man are precious. The lazy do not roast any game, but the diligent feed on the riches of the hunt. The riches of the diligent man are precious. Although he get much by unlawful means, yet will he not spend it upon himself. Now that's an interesting take on that. Gets a lot by unlawful means, but will not spend it on himself. You know, thieves, they have a booty in a hideout, and they hide their treasures and bury their treasures and won't spend them on themselves. Deceitful man. That's an interesting take on that, too. I was one of the lazy don't roast any game. The meaning of the Hebrew word is uncertain. It says roasteth over here. It means they won't spend their ill-gotten gains on themselves. Interesting. And 28. Life is in the way of righteousness, and in that pathway there is no death. Life is in the way of righteousness, and in that pathway there is no death. Right? In the way of righteousness there is life. Along that path is immortality. I like this one better. Life is in the way of righteousness. Thinking about life recently. Life is in the way of righteousness. I'm going to highlight that for myself. Right? You think more about life when you get older and you're retired and you don't have as much left as you started with, right? So, life. Righteousness is the way to life. I could say that. Cool. Oh, there you go. That's Proverbs 12. Let's see what we highlighted here. We highlighted this. A man of wicked imaginations will he condemn. Those who divide wicked schemes, God will condemn. Interesting, huh? And we highlighted 8. A man shall be commended for his wisdom, but the forward of heart shall be despised. A man is praised according to their prudence. Oh, I highlighted that. And number 9, this is a revelation. He that is despised and is his own servant, not yet have a servant. A nobody, a poor person doesn't have a servant. A poor person, or one that is despised and takes care of himself and is his own servant, is better than he that boasteth himself and lacketh bread. There are people who pretend to be something they're not, when truly, actually, they have nothing. Right. Highlighted 10. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the mercies of the wicked are cruel. Right. A righteous man regardeth is merciful even to the very beast that doeth him service. Right. Kind to animals. If someone is kind to animals, there's a good chance that's a good person, okay? If someone will kick a dog out of the way, or kick a cat, or aim for something in the road to hit just out of cruelty, not the kind of person I want to be around, okay? You can always tell a person's heart by the way they treat animals. Remember that. And an animal will also know if a person is a bad person. Okay? You can see the way animals act around people. And there also, but the mercies of the wicked are cruel. Right? The kindness acts of the wicked are cruel. Right? See, a wicked person pretends to do a good thing. The nicest thing he can do is still an act of cruelty. Interesting, huh? Remember that about animals. That's important. Okay? We'll highlight it 13. The evil man is snared by the wickedness of his lips, but the just shall come out of adversity. Right? The evil man is snared by the wickedness of his lips. You just can't stop talking, huh? Evil people, they're boastful, they're prideful, they're haughty, they're scoffers. They like to talk, and their talking always gets them in trouble, right? You can find stuff all over the news and the internet how so-and-so said such and such back then, and he got it recorded, so never changes, right? We highlighted this because it's different. Okay, 1599, it says the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, which means the righteous is, it says here, that is more generous in giving, right? Is more generous in giving than his neighbor. But the way of the wicked will deceive them, leads them astray. Right. 28, I highlighted for myself, life is in the way of righteousness, and in that pathway there is no death. Right. Righteousness is the way to life. Life is about. We need to get on to the business of living each day as a gift, right? Jesus said, live each day and don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about the past. Live each day. So I'm going to try to live each day. And by being righteous, trying to be, or always seeking to do the right thing, always following the Lord, you can be righteous. And we can live. So let's live. We'll do this again tomorrow. See you later.